Hello everyone, welcome to Vicar David's 60-second slot, brought today from Gibson Mill at Hardcastle, Crags, near Hebden Mill. And the buildings, the scene behind us, might be familiar to you if you watched a few years ago a film called Death Comes to Pemberley. Death Comes to Pemberley, it had in it the characters from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, including of course Mr. Darcy, although on the whole rather a lot more dark than Pride and Prejudice. And the film Death Comes to Pemberley explores the character of Mr. Darcy. But of course it wasn't written by Jane Austen, and it raises a question in literature as to what exactly is a historical character. Is it something that, or someone that we imagine, and we imagine may do one thing in one place, another thing in another, or as another view would have it, that a character can only exist on the pages of the work of literature it was created in. So Mr. Darcy can only exist as a character in Pride and Prejudice. Some people have different, think the first, and yet, as it were, I am unmoved, and I take myself the former view that I think a historical a literary character could only exist in the work of literature that they're created in. Well, some people think of Jesus in the same way. Jesus we've learned about from works of literature. The Gospels, to some extent Acts, mentions Jesus and his sayings and doings, and the epistles. But Jesus as a literary figure is only based on Jesus as a real person who lived and worked and had new people and did things in a particular time and a particular place. And what we have in the Bible is, as it were, like the shadow of Jesus. In fact, there's a famous book called The Shadow of the Galilean by a theologian called Gert Tyson. And this explores the life of Jesus seen through the eyes of the people around the time of Jesus, talking about him. So we never actually meet the figure of Jesus, but we learn about him through the people who are there. So we have the historical figure of Jesus, and we have the Jesus of the Bible, which is slightly different in each one. The Jesus of Matthew, the Jesus of Luke, the Jesus of John. But Jesus doesn't only exist as a figure of literature in the pages of the Bible. For Christians, Jesus rose from the dead, and the church teaches that Jesus is alive and we can meet him in our own lives. So we have the shadow of the Galilean, if we like, who we can learn about Jesus from. But the real way we find about Jesus is not as a literary character, but as a real living person who invites us to share our faith. Our faith isn't based on a story, it's based on a person, Jesus himself. And that is a truth universally acknowledged.